Alright everyone, it's race week again, British Grand Prix on this weekend around Silverstone. It's going to be packed out, it's going to be an incredible event. There's always something eventful happening at Silverstone, there's always an incredible storyline, and I think the storyline this year is going to centre around the two McLaren men. McLaren have not won around this track since 2008, but which drivers am I looking forward to seeing the most this weekend around the British Grand Prix? Well, I'm going with the most British bias possible 5 I can here. 4 British drivers and one that was born in the UK but chooses to represent another country. And we'll start with him first of all. Let's start with Alexander Albon. Of course, he represents Thailand, but of course he was also born in the UK, so he's British enough for this list anyway. It's been a pretty rough ride for him recently though in Formula 1. 3 retirements in the last 3 races. Williams really struggling, not scoring any points at all since the Monaco Grand Prix, and they weren't particularly amazing at Monaco either. Can they get back on form? Well, traditionally this is a circuit where even though Williams don't perform the best throughout a certain season, they can get good results here at Silverstone, and I'm backing them to get a good result this time around. I think they'll get a top 5 or a top 6 somewhere along the way. Carlos Sainz is doing a fantastic job and is a previous winner here from 2022. Indeed, that was his first ever Grand Prix win, but I'm going to choose to focus on Alex Albon as he is one of the home heroes. He'll be getting plenty of support for this race. Of course, there is no Thai Grand Prix yet in Formula 1, so this really is his home race, and it's also the home race of Williams, so I'm hoping for a good result. I'm hoping for a good result for Williams in general, to be honest. They are struggling at the moment, and they are coming into the clutches of the likes of RB behind them in the Constructors' Championship. That 5th place there is not secure by any stretch of the imagination, but a good, solid, double point score around Silverstone will do that the world of good. But let's get on to the UK 4, the Fab 4 from the UK, and I'll go with Ollie Bearman. Of course, 12 months ago at this circuit, he was announced as a Haas driver for 2025, and he's done a very good job for Haas, in my opinion, since he's come into Formula 1, but he's well and truly been shown up by his much more experienced teammate Esteban Ocon, who, to be honest, I am shocked he's doing this well in this Haas. And looking at his results, surprisingly, Bearman has not scored any points since the Bahrain Grand Prix, but the crowd will be behind him. The Bearman will be roared on by the British support, so I'm hoping for a point score for him. He very much does need it. It's been not the best run for him nor Haas recently. He needs to get some points this weekend, I reckon, and this is an ideal opportunity around a circuit he knows very well from his time in Formula 3 and Formula 2, and probably series before that as well. All the British drivers at some point having driven around Silverstone in the not too distant past. But let's go next to George Russell. Russell was so unlucky here 12 months ago. He could have potentially won the race. He qualified very well, but unfortunately a water pump issue put pay to that, and then his teammate Sir Lewis Hamilton went on to win the Grand Prix. More on him very soon, but let's focus on Georgie boy. This season started very much as very consistent for Mr. Consistency himself. Mr. Saturday turning it on, particularly on Sundays. Incredible results for him. He got that win out in Canada, of course, but Mercedes looked a bit average in Austria, to say the least, and I'm expecting if you're good in Austria, you're probably going to be good around Silverstone. Conversely, if you're not very good around Austria, you're probably not going to have a great time in the UK, but we'll see. It's going to be much cooler this weekend. It's meant to rain as well, according to most forecasts as well, so it could very much put the cat amongst the pigeon, and Mercedes do very much do well in changeable conditions, in cooler conditions, as we saw 12 months ago. So George Russell could be an outside bet for the podium this weekend. Also an outside bet for the podium, or maybe an inside bet in truth, because he has of course scored 11 podiums in the last 11 years around this circuit. Not since the 2013 British Grand Prix did Sir Lewis Hamilton not finish on the podium in his home race, and of course he has won this race a record 9 times, including of course that very emotional win last season. Can he do it this weekend again? Well, Ferrari in fairness looked very good around Austria. They were a long way off of McLaren, but they were also solidly the second best team on the grid. 3rd for Charles Leclerc, 4th for Sir Lewis Hamilton. He's got the home support there. It could be tricky and change changeable conditions, and of course he has won here in tricky and changeable conditions, most notably in 2008 on the way to his first world title. This could be a make or break moment for Sir Lewis in 2025. He needs to get a win in this debut season at Ferrari. I know he won the Chinese sprint, but come on, let's be real here. I'm talking about a Grand Prix victory here. The best finish he's managed in a Grand Prix so far this season is actually 4th place. He's not even had a podium in a regular race. I think he's going to have a shot this weekend for sure, but only if Ferrari produce when it comes to this, and also only if they get the strategy right, which of course 12 months ago they very much got the strategy incredibly wrong, did Ferrari. But if any British driver is going to win this weekend, the favourite has to be Lando Norris. Norris got back to form after a pretty embarrassing incident at the Canadian Grand Prix. He was very solid in Austria. I would say Piastri was probably fastest overall during the race, but the difference was that Lando Norris got it done in qualifying. Half a second he got pole position by. Yes, he was of course helped by the yellow flags, but he still would have got pole position anyway, I think, to be honest. He was absolutely untouchable around there in qualifying. In the race, Piastri put some moves in and did try to take that place, but Norris, despite the pressure on, despite everybody saying that he's weaker mentally, that he's going to cave under that kind of pressure, he did not. He absolutely held his own, and it was a very, very much needed win. Can he make it back-to-back wins this weekend? Well, of course, he has led during both of the previous 2 British Grand Prix, and if I'm being totally honest, if he and McLaren didn't mess up the strategy in their pit stops, I think he probably would have won last year. So he has unfinished business here. The British Grand Prix has had so many home winners in the past, and can Lando Norris add to that list? Can he become the latest entrant on that list? We'll have to see what happens, guys, but it's going to be eventful, it's going to be entertaining, the crowd are going to be up for it. I don't care if this is coming off as British bias. I absolutely love the British Grand Prix. I wish I was there this year, but I'm blessed enough to have gone 2 times in the past. It's an incredible event. If you can afford it and you can get a ticket, go to it. You probably won't be able to get one this year, but next year you most likely will be able to do when they go on sale. So yeah, absolutely cannot recommend it enough. Who is your pick for the victory? Despite all this British bias, I'm going for Oscar Piastri. I've got a funny feeling he'll get back to winning ways at Silverstone this time around, but I would like to see a British winner. I'd love to see a Russell or a Norris or a Hamilton up there. I doubt Behrman's going to manage it, unfortunately, but I'd love to see one of those guys on the top step of the podium. But if you're asking me, hand on heart, who is going to win this weekend, Piastri is my pick personally. But yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you soon for much more content on the world of Formula 1 just like this. Have a fantastic day wherever in the world, and I hope we have a great British Grand Prix this weekend as well in Formula 1.